Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Andre Harris from Harris Style Martial Arts and Fitness. So today we're going to get into some bow staff spins. Bow staff is it's a tool, right, or a weapon that are used in many martial arts. So we're just going to learn some basic spins. So the first one we're going to learn is basically one that you've seen kids use as they're growing up when you watch shows like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and other things like that. And then the second one is more or less the spin that you would normally use in that you would learn in the martial arts class, which is a little bit more advanced. So we're going to get into the first one because the first one really instills the basics before you get into the second one, and it's a good workout routine. And some people just prefer to use the first one because the basics are oftentimes the strongest techniques. So let's get started with this one. Okay. So as you notice right here, I have a rubber foam staff, and this is a really good one. You could get it on Amazon pretty much. So you could just type in rubber foam staff. Get started with the first spin. First spin, I'm holding it with my wrist, and I want you to watch my wrist all the way to my hand so you can see the turn. So the first turn is going something like this, and then the other hand comes into play when I catch it. Next one is turning it very similar to the right hand, and then I catch it, then I turn, and then I catch it, and then I turn, and then I catch it. And it's the same thing over and over and over again. So notice that I'm not putting in speed, but I'm just looking at the technique as I'm going for that turn and then for that spin. Notice again that I'm going around the clock, right? And this is about, let's just say this is well, I wouldn't say 12 o'clock, but you know, this is the first half hour, right? Then catch. Half an hour, then catch. Half an hour, catch. Half an hour, catch. Half an hour, catch. Half an hour, catch. Kind of like on a 180-degree spin and catch, okay? And then you keep practicing this one until you get faster, right? After a while, you'll notice that your speed of your hand really mimics the momentum of the actual bow staff to go faster, okay? But at the same time, you'll notice that you only could go as fast doing that. If you want to increase the speed, you can increase the speed, which comes into play with the second spin, okay? But one of the things that I wanted to mention is that when you're practicing that first primary spin, you want to make sure that you're not only doing it with the right to the left, but you're doing it with the left to the right, left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right. And the reason why you're doing it is because if you want to really gain, I would say just adaptability with both hands, you don't want one side to get really good at turning the staff. You want your other side to get really good. You want to be ambidextrous when it comes to a staff because the maneuvering ability and the spins really come into play when you're able to use it as an extension of your body. Hands, legs, right? So when I move with my right arm, it moves. When I move it with my left arm, it moves. It's an extension of my actual arm, right? Now, the second spin is where it whips, or I would say it weaves off your thumb right here. Now you're probably wondering, like, what do you mean when it like whips or weaves off your thumb? What I mean is kind of like you're sailing it off of your thumb. Now instead of this spin where it only goes to a 180-degree angle, it's gonna go all the way to a 360-degree angle, and here's how it will look. Normally when you turn it in that first spin, you only could go as far, right? Notice it's going from here to here. Kind of like that first half an hour that we said as an example on the clock, or that 180. Now we're going for a 360 and a full hour here. Full hour would look something like this. Whipping it off your finger, it just made a whole rotation all around the clock, meaning that we had a full hour here, okay? So here we go again. It's starting here as this baseline, okay? And let's just say that the top of the clock was horizontal. We're turning it all the way, and that's a full hour. Full hour. Now when we get the full hour, from here we catch under. Then we transfer again. We turn, full hour, catch. 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 And you'll notice, you can't hear it probably in the video, but when you're getting the full hour in the catch, you're able to gain so much more speed off of that type of spin, because you're getting that full rotation and then the catch, and it keeps the momentum of a full turn, or a full 360, full helicopter, full hour, whatever you want to call it. Some martial artists call it different things when they're going over the instructional guidelines for it, but it goes all the way around. So you're keeping the momentum of making that perfect circle all the way around, and you're going. Once you continue with that, you'll notice that your forearms are really working in the sense of using that synergistic energy and muscle compatibility as you're turning, because all muscles within this realm are working really hard together in order to just keep the momentum going. So it's a really good workout. And let's see how it looks. Once you get into the basics, you'll notice that the first turn, well, that was the second one because I'm used to it. First one is like this, right? And remember, it's still a really good spin. It's just that there's a lot of catching in this, and you have to play faster with the catches before you could get into the transformation of the second, which is less catches, but more momentum. And for me right now, I'm putting a lot of spin, I'm putting a lot into my biceps to really turn the wheel of the actual bow staff. So, hope you enjoyed that tutorial. If it was a little bit confusing, I would encourage you all to try to slow down the video, watch it in slow motion. Just turn the speed down to, the deficit of like 1.5 speed, so that you can really see how the spins are catching on my arm. But it's one of those things where you mess up as many times as possible so that eventually your body will adapt to how it needs to be adjusted to. I oftentimes use the example of when you were a baby, you had to learn how to walk, and you drop so many times that after a while your body gained the adaptability through your proprioceptors in order to not fall anymore, right? So your nervous system, your central nervous system combined with your proprioceptors sense the environment needed for you to not fall on the floor, and then adapt it through the process of muscle building and tissue adaptation, right? So it's the same way with this. This will fall as many times as possible until it no longer falls for you anymore. And that's just gonna take consistency, right? If you really want it, if you really want to gain these spins, let it fall many times. It's gonna bump on the floor, it's gonna hit you in the head, which is why, you start off with a rubber one first, and then you'll notice that after a while, it will no longer happen, and you'll forget that you even used to drop it. Will it drop times after that? Yes, especially when you're trying to learn new spins that I'm going to teach you in future tutorials. It's definitely going to fall, but let it fall as many times as necessary until it no longer falls anymore, right? It's very relevant to when you're facing challenges and you're kind of knocked down by those challenges. You get back up every single time to make sure that you're growing stronger than the actual challenge that you were facing. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This is Andre Harris from Harris Style Martial Arts and Fitness. Happy holidays to everyone, and take care. Peace.